Hey everybody, Brandon here, Vince again. In part one of this video, we were talking about where we collect data, right? So that we can dig in deeper. We talked about SNMP, we talked about packets, we talked about flows, and the different points in the network where we would collect that data. So Vince, I've got some questions for you to dig a little deeper into this. So SNMP is going to give me information about performance. Isn't that enough?
Yeah, it is true. In the last video, we talked about, if the router is busy, we can read the CPU time or the memory utilization in the router and get an understanding of whether the device is struggling. But your point is well taken. It's also telling me how utilized the interfaces are, right? Yep. It's a 10 gigabit interface and it is 80% full. Yep. So the question is, why do I need both SNMP
and
NetFlow? Well, the SNMP is going to tell me that the interface is 80–90% busy, but that doesn't allow me to fix it. What do I do? Do I deploy now a bigger interface? Do I trunk the multiple interfaces? Instead, the NetFlow allows me to see what the interface is busy with.
Okay.
Right? So what it does is it tells you 20% of the traffic is HTTP, 80% of the traffic is DNS. Well, why is 80% of the traffic DNS? Yeah. Because there's a flood going on. Who knows? Right? Okay. So by looking a little bit deeper at what is happening on each of these links, I am going to be able to make a determination on what a likely path to fixing the problem is, right? To mitigating the performance issue.
Okay, perfect. So then, while we're on that topic of NetFlow, in these different locations where I'm collecting NetFlow data, I can typically enable that to take ingress NetFlow and send it to the collector, or egress. Which direction do I do? Does it matter? Do I need both?
Yeah, this is actually a common problem in NetFlow analysis space, and I think that it is not well served. People don't talk about it very well. If I look, for instance, you've drawn a switch. It might have been a router, like any device that can transport packets. The moment it has more than two interfaces, a packet might come in on one interface and go out the other. Another packet from that exact same interface might go out yet a third, right? So you kind of want all this visibility, right? I want ingress and egress visibility on all my interfaces if I can. If I want to make a truly good analysis of how my traffic is moving through the network. Now, this is a problem because if I report on the packet, right, over here, when it comes into the firewall, report again over here as it exits the firewall, what do I get?
Yeah, duplicate packets.
Double counting, right? So the problem with enabling NetFlow export both for ingress, egress on all your interfaces is generally you will see every flow twice. Right? So our NetProfiler product is actually designed to be intelligent about this.
Okay.
Right? So what we do is we understand that in fact the packet, the flow, enters the firewall over here. Then maybe it exits over here, goes into the switch, into this interface, dives down out of here, and God knows, right? It could go any given path. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna count that one flow, that packet 8 times, unless you properly are able to deduplicate it. Now here's an additional power of deduplication. Not only will we count this flow only once, the additional visibility we get from this is we can now learn the path that the flow took through your network.
Right, and that's powerful.
It's extremely powerful because it allows you once again to understand performance implications, response time implications, saturation conditions, and all the various things that cause latency in a network.
Okay, good. And then my last question is, we captured packets on the outside of the firewall. We're going to see a lot of traffic. We're going to see a lot of packets. That's a lot to process. Does it matter if I move that inside the firewall, or is it better to have it outside? What do we do?
That's a great question. In general, I would recommend you capture it outside because you see certain security conditions as well. But you're right. There's also the consideration of where do you have the tap point, like where can you actually capture those packets? So that's a good question to treat the next time, I think.
All right, sounds good. Hey, thanks for answering those questions for me. Thank you for watching. We hope you find this useful, and we look forward to chatting with you in the Riverbed Community Forums. Thanks.